Welcome, everyone, to Willis ISD's District Dynamics for October 7th, 2015. I'm your host, Superintendent Tim Harkrider, and thank you very much for joining us. As always, education is exciting and great things are happening in Willis ISD. We stand together as one team with one purpose, focused on the success of each student each and every day. One of our team members goes above and beyond to help her students leave her math and science classroom a little happier and more knowledgeable than when they came in. Described as smiling, energetic, and passionate, Whitney Terry strives to relate classroom lessons to real life. For taking her lunchtime to tutor students who may need extra assistance and finding the perfect way to reach reluctant learner, Whitney was named Willis ISD's Most Valuable Player for October 2015 at the monthly Board of Trustees meeting. When students shout out, "Math is fun" in Miss Terry's class, and one exclaims, "She's our other mother," it's evident that she has built the necessary relationships to inspire a passion for learning. Whitney just does a great job, an excellent representative of our MVP award. When I go in her classrooms, I myself leave there motivated, and I'm not a big math person, but you could tell the relationships she builds with kids, and it's an exciting time. She does an excellent job for our school district and for all the students that she impacts there at Cannon Elementary. Trustees also recognized our principals and assistant principals in honor of National Principals Month. These dedicated staff who work tirelessly on behalf of students who were presented with a metal depiction of the Willis ISD logo, handcrafted and painted by Willis High School Wildcats there. And we just have an outstanding leadership team. I think our campus leadership is a very, very important part of our culture and our school district. These guys and ladies have a direct impact on our teachers, who ultimately have the largest impact on our kids. And I'm very proud of the leadership team we put together, the amount of time and effort that they put in to buy into our vision and work to make all of our kids successful. And it goes just, I can't say enough of how much they mean to us and what they do for our school district. Also, at that board meeting, we also recognized our human resources staff in honor of Texas Education Human Resources Day. They play a critical role in managing the needs of a growing staff and a record number of applicants for jobs in Willis ISD. We're now over 7,000 students, right at 900 employees. And our HR department, led by Robert Whitman, they do an excellent job, great team, and they do a very good job of making sure we've got the right people in place for the right positions and have our applicants ready to go for our principals and directors as they hire. Also on Robert's staff is Miss Betsy Hodem, Melissa Perry, and Jessica Appleby. That group together puts us in an excellent position to be successful with the folks that impact our students. And also at this last board meeting, trustees also learned that for the 13th consecutive year, Willis ISD received the state's highest fiscal accountability rating. Very proud of our business office staff led by Miss Tammy Moore, and I think that goes for our community and our taxpayers to show that we do a very good job with the money that we've been trusted with, and I think we do what's best for kids. And I think 13 consecutive years of earning that highest fiscal rating says volumes about the integrity coming out of that office and the leadership with Miss Moore, and very proud of them. And also we have passion, energy, and dedication abound throughout our school district, and that's why we feel like it makes it a very special place. And then I want to kind of go through, we've got some other different things to celebrate that's taking place in classrooms throughout our district. Ms. Lyron's class at Parmley has been busy learning financial literacy by operating a lemonade stand. Students created a business plan, estimated the cost of materials and potential customers, and finally calculated profit. So there's just another twist of learning math, but learning in a real-world type setting. Kids had an excellent time with that. Mrs. Keener's class at Hardy has written to numerous colleges and received T-shirts, pencils, pendants, and posters. Students learned the locations of the campuses, travel time required to get there, and how to write thank you notes. And every Monday is College Awareness Day for students and our staff to wear a college T-shirt, sweatshirt, jacket of their choice. Just to promote college awareness amongst our kids and let them know that's something we want them shooting for and striving for, that just graduating high school is a big step, but that's only step one in their future. Turner librarian Linda Carter gets students excited about reading. utilizing tumble books, which are animated talking books, picture books. Students are not only able to excel in reading, but also earn AR points, and that's just a thing that Linda does that get kids motivated and excited about reading. Some kids are born just very excited about it. Some develop a love for it, but whatever hook we can get to get them excited, and Linda definitely does a very good job with that. And students are pushing and pulling in Mrs. Buckner's class at Cannon to learn principles of physics. Elementary students across the district learned about fire safety last month, courtesy of local first responders. And I saw a few of the fire trucks out this week. One in Turner, I thought I was going to get a car wash as they got up on top of the fire truck and sprayed some water out. The kids' eyes lit up and they were pretty excited, but just to get to see the men and women who work our fire department and other law enforcement across the county, the excellent job that they do, marvelous career choice if that's what some of our kids aspire to be, and to get them up close and personal with the fire truck and the ins and outs of that was a very cool experience for them. We'll switch gears a little bit to our Willis High School volleyball team. They continue their winning ways and learn life lessons by giving back. They hosted their 4th annual Dig Pink Night on October 20th, 2015 at 6 o'clock. They had a huge turnout that night. People surviving cancer treatment patients, those who had passed, family were there just recognizing that battle, and they raised over $7,000 that would be donated to the I Go Pink Foundation to help breast cancer patients in Montgomery County. They also hosted a 5K run on Saturday, October the 31st. Pretty sure that was a sloppy run, but that's always a very well attended event. And just thank you for the Lady Cats, for Coach Ashley Ferris and the leadership she provides for those girls on the court and off the court as well. Counselors and instructional learning specialists throughout the district have celebrated Digital Citizenship Week with lessons on cyberbullying and bullying, staying safe when surfing the internet, and protecting private information. Students have signed the pledge to be good digital citizens, which includes communicating responsibly and kindly and giving proper credit to the work of others. Staying safe and respectful in today's mobile digital society may not appear on the STAR test for the vital lessons in this brave new world, and I don't think we can go across this information enough. It is a scary world out there, and you get onto the electronic and the digital side of things, it's very scary. And to have our kids and even our parents very well versed on sites that kids should have access to, sites and apps that they should not, I don't think we can educate our community enough on those dangers, and also the positive things that are out there as well. We also recently celebrated National School Bus Safety Week, a topic we take quite seriously each and every day. Did you know that our buses transport an average of 4,146 riders over 5,000 miles each day just on our normal routes? Our extracurricular groups took over 600 trips last year that totaled over 68,000 miles last year alone. And I'm very proud to report during that time, I believe we had 3 reportable accidents. No students were injured. No bus drivers were injured. I think we just take for granted that those 60-plus yellow buses that we sent out are going to get everybody there safe and sound. And truly, when you look at the numbers and the work that those men and women put in for us, they do an excellent job of getting our kids safely to school, back home, and on trips and back home. And very proud of the leadership of those bus drivers. James Ringo and his team do an excellent job. Lucas students in Miss Susan Burge's production theater class performed a Halloween Sleeping Beauty for students who brought a non-perishable food item as admission. Almost 400 items were donated to the TLC Food Pantry, and you'll be hearing more from Miss Susan Burge here shortly. She is one of our guests today. And as we round out some of the other awards and things going on, Andy Fell, who was taught by Kim Truitt from A.R. Turner, won second place in the Conflict Resolution Day Bookmark Art Contest. Also, Victor Gomez, taught by Heather Losack from Parmley, received honorable mention, and they were recognized recently. Students at Brabham and Lucas, under the direction of Amy Rogers, recently formed Destination Imagination teams that will compete in problem-solving, critical thinking, building, and improvisation this February. Amy does a great job of motivating kids. She's got a very electric personality, loves to push kids to be their best, and I know she will have a lot of success with these teams. And Turner's Laura Zapata, who was the 2015 Region 6 Elementary Teacher of the Year, was an honoree at the Texas Teacher of the Year Awards in Austin last week. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Lisa Severns joined Laura. I think they had an outstanding time, and that was just a great opportunity to showcase Laura and her talents as well as our school district. Wildcat Tennis celebrated their 10-1 victory over Temple in the first round of the UIL state playoffs. Our choir was having vocal celebration for Willis High School's Madeline Hayes, Jordan Hobbs, and Jessica DeFore, who made the all-region treble choir. And the Willis High School band was sounding off about their superior and excellent ratings at the UIL competition. And we thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for this first segment this morning. We'll be back with two of our guests. Thank you.
I'm Andrea Kolsky.
And I'm Heather Hall.
You may have heard of Justice Being Blind.
But what about being blonde?
In our show, Justice is Blonde, we talk about what's going on in Montgomery County at the courthouse behind the scenes.
Hey, Andrea, don't forget about Harris County, too.
And honestly, Heather, nationwide, we cover it all.
Airing every Friday at 11 a.m., you can send in your burning questions to our email, justicesblonde.lonestar@gmail.com.
Or they can look us up on Facebook at Justice is Blonde.
Or they could even call in to the station at 936-647-3776. Although we are discussing the law, we're trying to keep it fun, and we have some awesome guests.
So tune in Friday for some legal fun, laughter, and an hour with the Blantourage.
SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County is a 501c3 all-volunteer-based rescue and adoption organization with a no-kill policy for healthy and adoptable animals. Our goals are fourfold: to rescue and rehabilitate homeless animals, to provide a safe haven for the animals until a suitable adoption or foster care home is found or until they are reunited with their owner, to educate the public about the great need to reduce pet population, which includes the importance of having their pets spayed and neutered, and to further the cause for humane and responsible pet ownership, and to provide a low-cost spay-neuter clinic for people who are unable to afford to spay or neuter their pets otherwise. SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County encourages you to think adoption first. You can contact us at www.spcaofmc.com.
Our community's animal shelters cannot absorb accidental litters of kittens and puppies. Approximately 80% of the animals entering our shelters will not make it out alive. Please help be a part of the solution. Please spay and neuter your pets. Many low-cost options are available. Visit texaslittercontrol.org to learn more. That's texaslittercontrol.org. And remember, real Texans don't litter. Please spay and neuter your pets.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. Through our Operation School Bell program, we have provided new clothes to over 50,000 students in our county. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Welcome, everyone, to the Willis ISD's District Dynamics. Thank you for joining us for our second segment. And our second and third segments, every week we bring on a special guest. And this week our first guest is the new principal at Turner Elementary, Mr. Doug Anderson. Doug, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Tim, for having us on air today.
Still getting used to saying principal at Turner. Not used to saying that. And I know with your long history and background, mainly being in secondary education, flipping the script a little bit this year, getting into that elementary world, and I can tell our listeners that you have jumped right on in, and I would have never said you haven't never been on an elementary campus. You're doing a very good job, but can you give our listeners just a little bit of background information about yourself?
Okay. Well, I got my degree from Abilene Christian University. I was lucky enough to get a basketball scholarship and was able to save quite a bit of money for my parents by doing that. I got my degree in business marketing. Me and my wife kind of laugh a lot of times because I have my degree in marketing. She has her degree in education, and now I'm in education. She's in business. So you never know what trail you're going to lead or what it's going to lead you down to and where God's going to put you. But when I was at Abilene, I liked sports and so forth, and I was thinking about going back and getting an education field so I could coach. But I was so far along with my business degree, my counselor at Abilene Christian said, hey, you need to stick with it, and once you get done, you can go back and do that. So I spent 3 years in the business world working for Osman Sporting Goods in a management program. Probably about 6 months into it, I knew this is not what I wanted to do the rest of my life, and Osman Sporting Goods was very good about letting me go back to school, so I went back to U of H and got my educational degree and so forth, and worked there 2 more years, and then I got a job here in the Willis ISD the first time around. I was here for 11 years the first time, and then came back again to Willis. Not something I planned, just something that took place. I coached for 20 years, coached football, basketball, was head coach in basketball for about 12 years. Got married, my 2 kids come along, and I wanted to spend more time with them, and so I knew that coaching took me away from that family a lot, so I wanted to spend more time with them. So I called some people in Willis I knew. Tim Patton was the principal at the high school at that time. Said, hey, I'm thinking about getting out of coaching. I'd like to get back into, just to teach. And he said, yeah, come on down. We got a class to teach and also run my ISS. And so I got there about 2 days into it. Mr. McElhaney, who was the HR director at that time, goes, hey, we got an internship over at the alternative campus if you'd be interested in doing that. So I went over and talked to Mr. Sloan, who's our dean of students at high school at this point in time, and so he allowed me to. So I went over there and spoke with him, and really liked what they were doing. I've been in education for 28 years now, and Willis does it right when it comes to their alternative campus and trying to get kids back on track. There's a lot of schools who don't do that very well. And so when I went over there, I really liked it, so I started there as an AP internship, went back to Sam Houston and got my master's in administration. Never thought about being in administration. Again, one of those deals, right. God put you where he thinks you need to be, even though you have no idea about that. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where it's got me now. So I spent, a couple years there spent an AP at Brabham for 2 years. Then you came into Willis ISD and gave me an opportunity to be the principal over at Stubblefield when Lee Sloan took the dean of students position, and then you came back to me and offered me the job at A.R. Turner. And I think a couple of years ago you asked me about an elementary deal, and I kind of turned that one down. Spending 27 years in a secondary position, I never thought I'd be at the elementary position. But it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. These first 10 weeks, I'm learning a lot of things, learning something new every day. So it's been a great experience.
Right. Well, we're glad you're here, and that's the thing about the education building business. It's ever changing. It changes daily. It changes hourly, minutely, weekly. It's always something different. That's what I've really liked about education the most, that it's constantly it's changing. I get bored with monotonous things over and over again, and that's what I like about this business. We're always trying to do things differently and better and doing what's best for kids. And I think there's always different ways to do it. There's no one right or wrong way. And if you stay around it long enough, doors do open. And, the opportunity for you, I was that position of being a secondary ed person, and someone took a chance on me with the elementary side of things. It was probably the funnest year in education that I've had out of my 15 because it's a good place. Every day kids are smiling. The troubles of the world or whatever's going out there, the outside pressures, you don't see that in a kindergarten first grader's face. They're just happy to be there and ready to give you a hug and run down the hall for you to tell them not to run. And anyway, it's a good atmosphere. What has been your biggest challenge, you think, this year going into Turner?
Well, I think my biggest challenge is just learning the elementary side of it. It is different than the secondary side. Right. The thing that I've noticed and I've learned a lot on the elementary side is, like you said, what's so joy is that we have a lot of meetings we have to go to, a lot of things we have to do for us, paperwork and that type of stuff that, sometimes gets stressful and And, last week I got home, I said, man. But then the next day I went in and I did some observations in my teacher's classes. And you go in there and you sit down and you see those kids raising their hand, and they're enthusiastic about wanting to learn and what the teacher's trying to present to them in that classroom. And I just sit back and said, man, this is why I'm in this business.
Right.
And sometimes today, with all the stuff that we have to do, the state requires us to do in education, you can get bogged down in all that stuff. And like I told my teachers all the time, if you feel that way, you feel stressful, go in that classroom and just sit back, and you'll figure out why this is what you do. And when you see those kids excited about learning, excited about being at school, it makes everything worthwhile.
No, you're exactly right. And those elementary years are that hook to get kids excited about coming to school, and hopefully they get a very good impression. And then as they get the challenges of middle school and high school, they've already got that attraction to whatever subject that they really like, whatever teachers they love to be around, and then we've got them locked in for the rest of their educational career. As we kind of get going in, talk a little bit about some instructional strategies, and I know as you're working and learning and doing a very good job with that you're kind of focused on there at Turner.
Well, one thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to get our teachers to do more station-type work, where our kids are going from one station to the next, and teachers pulling out small groups. There's some students out there that need a little bit more of that instructional time from that teacher, more one-on-one time. So we're trying to implement that into our classrooms, where teachers just not teaching to a whole group of students, but they're breaking them down into individual stations and working different things for those students, pulling out strengths, and those type of things. We also have some of our paraprofessionals who come in. Our SPED department, we have two wonderful ladies, Mary Lucas and Nikki Kelly, who come in and help out with some of the kids who need a little bit more instruction time. Some of that co-teaching time that we do. So we're really seeing some good things and some positive things there. And our teachers are starting to accept that. They're starting to see that when those people are coming in, they're there to help support and help that instruction. And the teachers are really starting to buy into that.
Right. That's great. And that's for our listeners out there, the whole group instruction is get away from just the teacher standing up in front of the room and teaching for 30 or 40 minutes to a group of kids. The smaller group, kids learn from each other. They get one-on-one time with the teacher in a small group setting, and there is a place and time for the whole group instruction. There are certain lessons you've got to deliver, but there's that diversity that we want to see throughout the day of students do not just sit all day and get, that they're actively participating and they're learning. And I think that's something we're starting to see as a positive trend throughout the district, and definitely with the good things your teachers and yourself are doing at Turner. I know a lot of times from a secondary level, there's all sorts of clubs and activities and things going on. At the elementary level, not quite as much, but there are a couple of things that are going at Turner, one of them being the National Elementary Honor Society. Tell us a little bit about that group.
Well, that's a group that, they're outstanding in the classroom for us. Our grades go. They're outstanding citizens and young people in our building. They go beyond the call of duty for us, getting their work done, and for us anything we might need to do them extra and helping around the school and that type of stuff. So it's a great program. Miss Ballard and her teachers kind of organized that and head that up, and so they're just now starting to get those things in place. They also do some community type things out there in the community, help out to gain points. Kids gain points for that. They have to have in that National Honor Society. So it's a great program.
Good. And next we've got the Turner News Flash.
Turner News Flash is something just now. Miss Hurst kind of leads that. She's just now getting that started. In fact, my girl's a fifth grader there at Turner, and last night she was working on her paper. The students have to write a paper about why they want to be in the News Flash and what type of position they want in the News Flash. So we're excited about that. It'll give the students an idea of how those things work, how to get information out to people about our school.
Yeah, that's great. And then you've got a Turner Tunes, which is a choir.
Yeah, and Miss Allen, she does an awesome job with our Turner Tunes. In fact, she's got a big musical coming up here in a couple of weeks that she's working on with all the grade levels. So she's excited about that. Just a month ago, she did a tribute to our veterans They had it during the school day and it's at night in the evening where our veterans came in and also performed along with our choir group. So she does an outstanding job, not only for our school, but also getting things out there for our community.
Right. Outstanding. And I know that you guys also, and I believe a couple other campuses, have a watchdog program. That's a program to encourage our dads to get involved in the schools.
Yes, we probably had about close to 150 to 200 dads who came tonight that we introduced the watchdogs program. It's been at that campus for quite a long period of time. Just a great program. One thing I've always said, it's very important for dads to be involved with their kids. Mom's there. Mom does a lot of things, but it's very important for mom there to be backed up with dad. I know it's the case with my two kids. Mm-hmm. My wife does an excellent job. She's a great disciplinarian, but just my voice, that male voice, makes a difference, especially with the boys, especially if you have boys in the family. So it's just a great program. We have some great dads who are coming up and helping out. They do different things in the hallways or in the classrooms, helping the teachers out, in the cafeterias, monitoring what's going on in there. And we have a bulletin board up in one of our halls that has the watchdogs. We'll put the dads up there and their kids. They go to Turner. Right. We introduce them every morning on the intercom for the announcements go. Who's going to be there that day? So it's just a great opportunity for dads to get involved at our school and with their kids.
Right, and when you're talking about 150 plus dads showing up, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, yes, there's no doubt. It makes a big difference, and it even has an effect on the other kids too. And it also makes you as a dad feel that you're doing something important for the school, but also you get to interact with some of the other kids there too, and to see the looks and the smiling faces those kids get when they see a dad walking down the hall with the watchdog on their shirt and stuff. It's an awesome program.
That's awesome. Well, and I'm a firm believer that all of the great school districts that do an excellent job with kids, the entire community has to be involved in that educational setting. It's not just about the school or just about the teachers. It's about the entire community working together for the success of kids. So that's great. And Doug, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you for your leadership and definitely enjoyed your Halloween costume last Friday, and we'll look forward to more of that stuff as we get closer to Christmas.
Well, I appreciate that, and everybody says sometimes you got to get outside your box. I've gotten outside my box these past 10 weeks, but it's been fun. It's been a great opportunity.
Awesome. We will be right back. Thank you.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I want to invite you to join me every Saturday morning right here on Lone Star Internet Radio from 8 to 9 for Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Bill Dance is a frequent guest. Larry Weisser and Mr. Whitetail is on the show every week. We talk a lot of hunting and fishing and generally have a good time. So remember, every Saturday morning, 8 to 9, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that texting and talking on the phone while driving are not only dangerous, but also illegal in school zones and other posted areas. Drive safely and alert.
Welcome back to Willis ISD's Districts Dynamics. I'm your host, Superintendent Tim Harkrider, and we're with our second guest, Lynn Lucas's Miss Susan Burge. Susan, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for joining us. And as I read through some of the stuff we're going to talk about, I learned something new about every person. Didn't know you had been in the district 21 years. I knew it had been a while, but 21 years here is outstanding. And I know we'll get into what all you teach because it's a very different group of subjects. You are extremely busy, but start off a little bit just with some background information for the audience.
All right. I grew up down south in Sweeney, Texas. I have two older brothers. And I went to Sam Houston on an ag scholarship from Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. I got about halfway through my junior year and decided that's not what I wanted to do. but I refused to teach, and I went about 2 months of fighting it. That's the only way to put it. And finally I said, okay, I'll teach, and there was a peace. I was where I was supposed to be at that point. So I went to my advisor, and at that time to teach ag was a 4-year program. So I went through English as a secondary, German as a minor, and graduated from SAM with that. Was offered a job in downtown Houston, and my dad said, why don't you finish your ag degree? So I went back to my advisor, and he said, well, there's no point in getting a bachelor's. Either get a master's in English or a master's in ag. And looking at it, I could teach college with a master's in English, so I went that way. Was hired in Cold Spring to teach German, French, and Spanish and to coach. And I did that. And then Fred Rush and Rayford McElhaney hired me back because I had subbed at what was Hardy at that time, which was our middle school. And hired me back to teach German, French, and Spanish at Hardy. We moved to Lynn Lucas that Christmas. And I taught that for about 9 or 10 years. With an intro in Spanish, intro in German on top of that. That program was phased out. So then I went into teaching horticulture because I did have so much ag, took my test on that, and came back in a weird kind of way back to where I started, to teach animal science and to teach horticulture. I've taught a little bit of everything from yearbook to PE to history to English, computer tech, just about everything at the
Well, I was
level.
unaware of your foreign language. That we'll have to talk a little bit later about that. That is one thing that I'm not for sure. And your first teaching job sounded like my first job that I took as a teacher and a coach. You know, I'm excited. I get hired, and I'm teaching 4 preps. At that time, really didn't mean a whole lot to me. 4 preps, yeah, okay, whatever. I didn't take that job. I signed and ended up finding a job that was about 10 minutes from my house versus 55 miles. They let me out of my contract to start there. And then as I taught a few years, I realized what 4 preps would have done to me. So I might have lasted in education for 1 year. Now, currently you teach animal science, horticultural, technical theater, and production theater art classes. So
Yes.
You have a full load. And I will tell our audience, Susan has what my former boss, we give MVP awards here. My former boss, Dr. Susan Hull, they give what they call Kid Magic awards. And I can promise you Susan has kid magic because kids are electric around her. They're motivated around her. They respect her. Whatever she wants done, I'm pretty sure 99% of the time she says it one time, and they do it out of love and respect for her. But we're going to kind of talk through the different classes so you can give our audience a little bit about each one, and we'll start with animal science.
All right. In animal science, they learn the different body parts, breeding, different breeds and that type of thing of cows, horses, goats, pigs, and if we have time, poultry. But we also hit on some woodworking skills, construction skills, because if you have a large animal, you have to build pens, you have to build barns, sheds, those types of things. And so to kind of incorporate several different things, we start the year off with the Trebuchet Challenge that we take to the Renaissance, and we're going on Wednesday. And they have to design, construct, test, redesign, reconstruct a trebuchet to make it shoot the farthest distance. Today we shot 172 feet, and our second place one's at 130 feet. And it gives them teamwork, engineering, drafting skills. They have to have technical designs, and all that plays back into the animal science class. And if you're going to build a barn, you need to be able to design plans and to draw it out before you go and you start cutting lumber and you wasting that type of thing.
Awesome. I drove by the other day when they were shooting some. I think they wanted to try to shoot it down my through my window. I had my window down.
They heard fire. I promise. I said, don't fire.
Next up, you have a course of horticulture.
Yes, sir. That's plant science. So far this year, the students have created homecoming mums and garters in the floral design part. We have started getting the greenhouse ready for a fall garden and the ground prepared for that. In the spring, we'll have our spring garden. And for some of our kids, it's the first time they've eating food off of a plant,
Mm-hmm.
to actually grow it and then to go out and to pick it and to eat it and those types of things. So, and then of course we do, leaf identification and some of those types of things as well. I try to keep most of my classes as hands-on as possible.
No, you definitely do, and that's the thing about the courses you teach. These are not only skills that are required for your particular courses, but many of these are skills and knowledge that they'll take with them for the rest of their life. They're life skills, and that's what I think is so neat. Sometimes kids get bogged down in, why do I need to know algebra? Why do I need to know this about literature? Because they don't see a connection with the real world. Obviously, your classes and what you're going through with kids, there is a big connection to the real world, which is awesome. Okay, talk a little bit about the Lucas Limelights in your production theater class.
Well, there's a group of kids that have to audition in May for the upcoming school year. So the students that are in the class this year auditioned last May. We did the Renaissance Festival. They did the Halloween plays. We'll have Christmas plays. We auditioned next week for the one-act play, which this year we're doing a play called No Time for Sergeants. They have been to the elementary schools already this year. We went over to Hardy. They're constantly performing or working toward a play, rehearsing a play. This Saturday they'll be here in downtown Conroe at the Shakespeare Festival performing. Okay. We have one of the students that's in the Comedy of Errors, and then about 10 of our students will be performing monologues and duets. This group of kids, they are constantly on the go with performing, rehearsing, doing a little bit of everything. They did the haunted house this past weekend and raised nearly $1,100 for their program, which is what leads us to the next step to be able to do some of the things that we do.
Awesome. Great. Now, you also have a technical theater class.
As a matter of fact, that technical theater class set up the auditorium for you this afternoon.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They do everything from lights to sound to setting the stages to getting the black box, the workshop theater ready for the next show, costumes. If one of the other theater classes has a play going on and they need costumes, we go through the costume room, find those plays. So it's all of those behind-the-scene things that it takes for a theater to run.
Awesome.
And that goes for the auditorium and the workshop theater.
Right. Now, you yourself, on your personal time, dabble a little bit in plays, correct?
I dabble backstage of plays.
Okay.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good.
My husband's an actor,
okay.
But I like to stage manage. I'm involved in Stage Right at the Crichton Theater, and also I will work technical or black box office for some of the Crichton Theater performances.
Awesome. So your real world experience there comes definitely to the realization of these kids, and you're living it on your own and doing it, and the expertise you bring back is invaluable to them.
I think the phrase is, my theater knowledge is street knowledge.
That's good. Street knowledge sometimes good. It's sometimes that get us through. As we kind of close things out, what are some highlights that we can look forward to this year coming up with your kids and different things you've got going on?
Well, the theater students will be performing at Renaissance tomorrow and the Shakespeare Festival on Saturday. The ag students will be competing at the Renaissance on Wednesday. In February, Lynn Lucas again hosts the one-act play competition on February the 18th, 19th, and 26th, I believe it is. And then in May, we would like to have a black box competition inviting schools from Conroe, our UIL district, and Livingston, Huntsville to have our first annual black box competition there in the workshop theater.
That's awesome. Very good. Well, her workshop theater is her baby project that her and her kids have worked very hard on the last few years, and they've done an excellent job. And Susan, I can truly tell you, you are an asset to Willis ISD and to our kids. We hope that service of 21 years continues to grow until you retire, which I hope is a long time for now. She's just showing me some fingers of how many more, and I told her I can't count, so we'll figure that out later. But thank you very much for coming today. Good luck. You've got a busy year planned, and I know you're doing great things for kids.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
We'll be right back.
Heaven's Army of Resources and Recreation Center is a 501c3 nonprofit organization featuring a 10,000 square foot building located at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas. At Heaven's Army, we offer over 26 different services free for all ages, from karate, dance, drug and alcohol classes, anger management, parenting, food and clothing pantries, to just name a few. We are supported solely by volunteers and private donations. Our main mission is to glorify God in all that we do. At Heaven's Army, we strive to be a hand up, not a handout. Come check us out at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas, or call for more information at 281-689-5864. You may also learn more about Heaven's Army by visiting our website at heavensarmyofresources.com.
Hey, this is Cindy Cochran, and now Conroe can boast of another first. The first morning live talk show, 10 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio, coming straight out of the fabulous downtown Conroe, Texas. Be the coolest guy at the water cooler or the most informed break room dweller by listening to the fun side of the news, local, national, infinity, and beyond. The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
The East Texas Dream Center is in need of your help. We are a nonprofit Christian organization that houses women and children who are trying to get their lives back after being homeless, abused, or addicted. We are conveniently located at 301 South 1st Street, Conroe, Texas, 77301, right here in Montgomery County. Our needs are financial and every needs of gasoline, cleaning supplies, laundry soap, Lysol, and whatever else God puts in your heart. To help our ladies and children, please consider a donation. You may visit our website at www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Again, so you don't forget, it's www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Donations are tax deductible. Remember what Jesus said, with God, nothing is impossible.
Welcome back to Willis ISD's District Dynamics Show. I'm your host, Superintendent Tim Harkrider, and we kind of wrap things up every time with our upcoming events, and this list never gets any smaller, I don't think, from the time we start in August to the time we shut down in June. We're constantly going. We're going to kick things off with some athletic updates. A couple weeks ago, our football team beat the Livingston Lions to put us in good shape heading into our game last week against Caney Creek. We beat Caney Creek 51-20, which sets up a showdown Friday night at home against Huntsville. The winner gets into the playoffs and the loser goes home. This is the same exact situation we were in last year and lost a very tough game in the final seconds to Huntsville 17-13. So we're hoping to be able to repay that favor as we host Huntsville. So come out Friday night at 7:30, Burton A. Yates Stadium. And this basically is the last regular season game, but with what's on the line, it is actually a playoff ball game. So come out and support the Wildcats. Also, the Brabble Middle School A team lost their first game of the season on the last game against a very tough Tomball team, 32-26. We started out slow, played a very good second half, and we actually played last night in the district championship game against Magnolia, so we'll have the results for that at our next radio show. Our cross-country teams competed in the regional cross-country championships in Huntsville last Saturday. It was a very muddy meet. It was a Saturday after a lot of rain that we had received. Our girls team placed 5th, which was one place out, need to be in the top 4 for the entire team to advance to the state track meet or the state cross-country meet. But we did have a couple qualifiers. Caden Neeson finished 5th. She is returning to the state championships in Round Rock on Saturday, along with freshman sensation Emeka Sorensen, who placed 19th. She also qualified for state. And then we had another freshman runner on the boys' side, Jaime Vega. He qualified by placing 16th. And all three, two ladies and Jamie will also go down to the state track championships for the cross-country, represent us in Round Rock, and then hopefully we've got some good weather down there for them. Excited about the direction of very young cross-country teams, and the job that Coach Fosmo and his group has done is outstanding. And Willis girls volleyball team dominated Livingston in District 18 5A match, winning 25-8, 25-12, 25-17. On senior night, we start the playoffs versus Waco University, which was last night also. So we've got a busy week on November 3rd, and we'll have that report on how they're doing. They are favored going in, so we're hoping for a big victory that night. And our Wildcat tennis team celebrated their 10-1 victory over Temple, the first round of the UIL state playoffs. So a busy time in athletics. Also, our basketball teams, boys and girls, are currently practicing and getting ready to go. They'll be starting their seasons here within another week or so. Thursday, November 5th, we have our last athletic luncheon at the North Montgomery County Community Center. Thursday, November 5th is also Family Fun Fitness Night at C.C. Hardy. And we've talked about the football game on November 6th, which will be Friday at 7:30. And then our annual Veterans Day concert at Lynn Lucas Auditorium is Tuesday, November the 10th. Please come out and support our veterans. Our choir does an excellent job. You don't want to miss that. And Wednesday, November the 11th is our regular scheduled school board meeting at 6 o'clock at the Cargill Education Support Center. And then we do take a week off for Thanksgiving. Our Thanksgiving break this year is November 23rd through the 27th. Remember to get connected, stay connected. For everything Willis ISD, check out our website, download our app, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Embrace the digital world of Willis ISD. We appreciate your support and making Willis ISD and the Wildcats a first-class place. Have a great evening.